I'm John. Subscribe my channel. That's my likes. It's been 82 years since the last public hanging, if ever, took place in the United States of America. My question is, what's wrong with public hanging? This brings another question I got. If we put a stop to this mass shootings, people getting raped, or other crimes, I bet you public hanging, right now, none of these crimes will be in our society. It's kind of hard managing such things like fire squad, public hangings. This was back in the day, 1930 something. The last public hanging was in the United States. The guy raped elderly woman and commit murder. He was hanged to death. My question is it a good idea bringing public hanging back or not? My idea of public hanging should be, if you commit a murder or something very serious like that, and it should be a public hanging. No matter how grave the situation is, if we want to stop this mass shooting we got, ain't nothing against the guns we own. But the problem is, lies, society don't give a shit about anything except themselves. I want to speak to my heart and tell you guys, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Myself, I don't own a gun. I don't care. But I do is art, drawing, and save my time, focus on other stuff that's more important in life. But public hangings should be come back to us. Yes, there is dark days like Jesse James, Outlaw, and other stuff like that. About White Herb, what they did. We don't know the true story about what actually happened by the Wild West. All we know is what the story says, what the legend says. Legend states Wild West was a dark place, dark time. Same for the medieval times. Making that point, the witch trials, same in Massachusetts, it was a dark time. Which one of that happened in the first place? It was people was accused of witchcraft. A small village was accused of witchcraft. It first started out with some kind of ritual found on a body. I don't know all the story to it. There is some stories states people were born on a stake, which I didn't clear that up. I cannot find nothing stating that. But what I did find and doing research about two possibilities: hanging and put a mass stone on the body. If they were not convicted, to be custody death. If they get commit nothing. But I don't see how that could play. Back in the when Jesus was alive, see the thing is about the Roman times, this is being way back now. The war laws back then, it was much different what today was. Should be on that. But see, the Romans, when they did to Jesus, was not this wrong or right thing to do. They thought because they punished somebody and they had the authority to do what they did. Put the nails through Jesus' hands, pain by pain. You just imagine my hand have a stake through it. Ow. And that pain go through your nerves, your veins, the detail of that pain what Jesus Christ went through that day, went through his fingers, fingers but no hands, both hands, put a crown on his head. That's not the worst of it. Put stakes through his feet and hands. That's not the worst of it. What that woman did to the cat of nine tails ripped Jesus Christ's flesh out. That was not right. That was not right at all. What they did, Jesus Christ had suffered on the cross for all sins. No matter what we do on this earth, he sacrificed everything he had for us. No matter how grave our situation is, no matter how powerful this world might be, there's always Jesus Christ watching over all of us. We will be one in heaven. There's so much we can learn from Jesus Christ. There are some things we don't know or don't understand just yet of the power of Jesus Christ. John 3:16 states, God so loved the world, he would give his own begotten Son, whoever believes in him shall not perish but shall have eternal life. Those things we can learn from the Revelation. Like it talks about a grave earthquake. Now, it also states brimstone, fire, but it did not state flood. God would not flood like Noah's Ark when it happened. The reason why he flooded that earth that day, I'll tell you the reason why. It was too much sin in that world that time. Too much sin. Then make another point, Adam and Eve, did what they did, but did forbidden fruit. They ate it. And what God said, you can stay here. Basically, do not touch that forbidden fruit. Basically, that's life. But Adam didn't think too much about it. But who tricked him into it? The devil talked to Eve. Eve tricked Adam into eating that. They were kicked out of the garden, had to survive themselves, on hunt on food, and basically live off the land and have children, all that stuff. And this no matter what we do, this world will end for all of us. But sooner or later, we will be in heaven with our loved ones watching over us every single day. There's no greater thought. My Father in heaven watching me right now. My aunts, my uncles, my grandma, my grandpa, all watching me tonight. I miss my father so much. That thought, when I saw that day, that morning, will never leave my mind. Yes, there are things we could do, comfort our loved ones, support our loved ones. At the Paso, I want to tell you this. There ain't no greater thought than loving each other. Loving each other is the greatest thing you could ever imagine. You can have all the riches, all the money, but you can't remember this. You cannot take that to heaven. Hope you guys like this video. Be safe, positivity to each one of you. Love you guys. Y'all like my family. God bless. Talk to us later.